Roxo Media House. From the Flying T Club studios at Roxo Media House, this is Frogs Today. And now with the latest news and notes from TCU Athletics, here's your host, the voice of the TCU Horned Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Here we are on the Friday edition of Frogs Today. We welcome you into the Flying T Club studios. I'm Brian Estridge. Thanks for joining us. Busy today. We got some volleyball we got to get into. We got a baseball preview, a lot of men's basketball to get you set and ready now for the season finale that'll happen tomorrow as TCU gets set to take on Oklahoma at 2 o'clock. But we've got other things in store for you this weekend as well, including men's tennis. They'll be taking on UTA this weekend, starting at 5:30 on Friday night. You'll need to be there for that one. That'll be out here at the Bartson Court. So be there for that as men's tennis, the number one team in all the land here representing TCU. Big kudos to Messiah Bright, the former soccer player here at TCU, signed a 3-year contract with the Orlando Pride. Former second-round pick, left here as the all-time goal-scoring leader at TCU. Got herself a new 3-year deal there in the NWSL. Grace Adingbada and Jaron Holmes are going to be representing TCU in the NCAA indoors. Both are triple jumpers. It gets underway March 10th in Albuquerque. So we have a female and a male triple jumper representing TCU at the NCAA indoors, if you will. NFL Combine's underway in Indianapolis. On Monday, we'll have some details on how the 9 players from TCU did. Coach David Bowden will be back with us next week. We start to break down how those guys did, where their draft status stands at this point. But, of course, the big story today was the 75-73 win on Wednesday night for the Horned Frog basketball team over the Texas Longhorns. Frogs get their 20th win of the year. New career high for Damian Baugh at 24 points and 9 assists. Emmanuel Miller now back-to-back double-doubles, 20 points and 10 rebounds in that ball game as the Horned Frogs shoot 62% from the field in the first half. Came out red hot and a huge crowd as well, some 8,194 in attendance. That's the second best ever. Got to see the Horned Frogs get it done really on both ends, defensively and offensively. They out-rebounded Texas 46-28. Did TCU, dominating the glass in that ball game. We had a chance to hear from the head coach post-game from this one, Coach Jamie Dixon, in his own words right now.
Great atmosphere, great win for us, and did it with defense, rebounding, which is what we emphasized, what we told them it would be, and they got the job done. So really, obviously, out-rebounding team by 18 says a lot, and that's what we had to do, and got it done. So it was across the board. I mean, you look at our guys, everybody got a rebound, more than 2, and so that was a team rebounding effort. And I thought our transition was really good early. I thought our execution was really good. Just the turnovers being only negative, but so many other positives. And so great to see and a great win, and excited about the opportunity to go up to Oklahoma and finish this out. So. This might be the best league, ever, as they've talked about, because if you see our separation from the other league, the 10 teams, however you want to manage it, but if you just look at the 10 teams, I think that it is up to that standard. So I think that's the best thing about this. But we've got to go get a win on Saturday, and we've got to play. We've got to find a way to get better in these 2 days going forward here, and I think we can.
In addition to the head coach post-game, Damian Baugh with that new career high, the double-double man himself, Emmanuel Miller with those back-to-back double-doubles. They had a chance to visit with the media. Let's listen in right now.
I think we just played hard for 40 minutes. The rebounding differential, I think that speaks volume to how hard we played tonight. But, yeah, man, we just did a great job of executing for 40 minutes down the stretch. Chuck had a great rebound towards the end of the game that caused us to run the time down, run the clock down some more. So I think them little possessions that just occurred throughout the game, I think that helped us a lot.
It's just anybody game, Everybody step up when we need everybody to step up. So, it just is what it is.
Yeah, we made sure, even at halftime, because at Austin we was up big. We knew that we controlled the game for the most part, just like today. But you just got to credit a great team like Texas. They did a great job of just fighting back. They did a great job competing, but I just think at the end of the game, we did a better job of just opposing our will.
Coming up next, let's talk a little volleyball here at TCU. Julia Adams was one of 3 Frogs who got to represent the Horned Frogs in Colorado Springs in the Olympic training facility last weekend. We got an update from her on how that went. But as we go to break, How about some sights and sounds from that terrific game on Wednesday night between the Frogs and the Texas Longhorns? As we mentioned, second largest crowd ever at Schollmeyer Arena. And as you can tell right here, they had fun. More to come after this time out.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU, both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
This is Cowtown Headache Center, a neurology clinic that specializes in headache medicine. We offer standard oral medications, we offer trigger point injections, we offer multiple nerve blocks, we offer infusions both for prevention medication and for acute relief. My name is Andrew Levere. I'm a physician assistant that has a special certification from the National Headache Foundation in headache medicine. Patients are pretty shocked when I tell them we have tons of options for them and that we can do better than what they're doing. I don't just tell you, here's one medicine we're going to try. I'll give them options. And then ultimately, we choose together as the provider and patient. It's very satisfying to know that we're changing people's lives.
Oh yeah, I said it at the beginning of the year, but we have completely redefined our culture. We have just reached new levels and can kind of feel our potential and really take it to heart.
Frogs Today on a Friday rolls home right now. We can talk a little volleyball. That's right. Here we are in the month of March, and we're talking volleyball. There was a trio of Horned Frogs who had the opportunity to go to Colorado Springs. They got to do it as part of the Women's National Team Open program. Julia Adams is with us right now. Also, Jalen Gibson and Sarah Sylvester represented the Horned Frogs. Julia, thanks for taking the time to join us. How you doing?
Yeah, of course. Good.
Good. All right, fill me in. How was this event? Because there were like 200 student athletes there. So, I mean, was it just like a big camp? What was it?
I mean, we're on the actual campus at the U.S. Olympic Center, and so it was a lot of volleyball, a lot of training, a lot of free time, and time to connect with people that you hadn't met before, and just a lot of great opportunities to learn.
You got to connect with some of the greats in the volleyball world, too, didn't you? Fill me in on that.
Yes. I mean, it was just a surreal experience. I mean, these people that you almost idolize, people that you watch on TV, people that are part of these elite programs. It was just a really great experience, honestly.
You got to say the name, because the ultimate coach in volleyball is Karj.
Yes.
Yeah, Karj was there, right?
Yes, he was there. And, you know, I'd never been, so I didn't know what to expect. And he was quite the opposite from an observer. Really? He was in it. He was encouraging. He was coaching. He was actually bouncing from each court to acknowledge great pursuit balls, to help us learn. So it was he was really great. Yeah.
And I always pull the name. It's Karj Karali, right?
Yes.
That's how you say it. I want to make sure it's right. But everybody knows that name when they think of volleyball. That's what they think of. All right. So were you guys going through drills, and then games, or how did they learn more about you?
You know, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a lot of drills. I thought it was going to be like boot camp style, but serve and pass, statting in the beginning, and then straight play. Oh, wow. So they create teams, and it's a lot of waiting. So you play with a lot of different people by position, but it's just a lot of play for hours.
Okay, now the rumor that I heard was that you had a pretty good couple of days up there. Am I right?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you? That's what I heard.
Yes.
But so tell me, I mean, because that's the best competition in the country. Going in, were you curious as to how you would stack up with it?
Yeah, I was curious because I knew there was going to be a lot of great players there and a lot of great outside hitters. So they stat every single ball you touch, and that's how they move you up and down on the courts. So it was a great honor to be around people that are really great and by being coached by great people. And
to know that you're one of the top 20, right? Am I right about that? Outside hitters?
I'm not sure.
I think that's right. Am I right about that? Yeah, I think that's right. One of the top 20 in the country. That's pretty amazing. All right,
Thank you.
Fifth-year senior from Plano.
Yes.
Is the cat out of the bag about, we know you're here, right? Is the cat out of the bag? Can we say that? I don't know if we can say that yet, but I sure hope you're back. How about that? All right, because it's going to be cranking up here soon. Talk to me about those two freshmen that went, though, as well. They were terrific. I know Sarah and Jalen had a great experience, too, didn't they?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it was a great bonding experience for all three of us, and it was so great to see them, like, out and playing with different people as well. I think it was a great learning opportunity for them as well. Jalen is a little firecracker. She is so great, and she is going to be so great. Same with Sarah. Like, they are both just the best teammates and some of the best players that we have.
How about being with Coach Jason Williams in that setting? How was that?
Yes, it was great. I mean, like, getting to spend time with him outside the TCU volleyball setting, outside that bubble, it was really great.
That's awesome. All right, so if you were to return, let's talk expectations for TCU volleyball. Obviously, you got an exhibition match coming up later in March against Texas, right? But give me some sense of the expectations that you feel for this program right now.
Well, I think it was a really great feeling and a great thing to see that we mirror a lot of the things that you see in the national gym. A lot of the same drills, a lot of the same expectations. And so knowing that Jason is cultivating this elite program and he's taking TCU volleyball into such an elite place. It's really great.
Yeah, it would be one of those programs you wouldn't want to leave. Right?
Exactly.
Let's stick around for a little while. I like it. All right, clue folks in. You played a Plano senior, right? Yeah. What's your major here at TCU?
Education.
Education.
Yes.
You want to teach?
Yes, I do.
Really? Do you have an idea of what you want to teach?
I would love to teach the littles. I love the K through second setting. I would love to coach as well. I don't know what age group, but I would love to stay in the coaching world.
I love that. What a great calling. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So when you came out of Plano Senior, what about TCU stood out for you? And has it lived up to the billing?
I mean, I feel like I've been here through a lot of the change that TCU has faced and a lot of the change that TCU volleyball has faced as well. It's a great home environment. It's a great community. You feel that sense of belonging, and automatically you have friends and supporters and people that are trying to guide you into a successful direction, and it's absolutely lived up to every expectation I ever had.
That's awesome. One other thing I want to leave folks with is that you may not realize how important it was for this TCU volleyball program, but to be able to play at Schollmeyer Arena, what's that mean to you guys?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the Rickle is great, but just the fact that we can fit more fans into a space, it's really big for the program.
That is awesome. Julia Adams, thanks for coming by here.
Thank
Congratulations.
You. Thank you.
Keep up the great work. I look forward to finding out more about this, all right, as we go. All right, that's Julia Adams joining us, one of a trio who were at the Olympic Training Facility in Colorado Springs last weekend representing the Horned Frogs. Coming up this weekend, it's a big baseball tournament down at Minute Maid, of course. Our own Jamie Plunkett is there, and he joins us next with an update. But Frogs Today continues after this time.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com. Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI Live happy, be happy, drink happy. Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU, both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back into the Flying T Club studios here on the Friday. Frogs Today continues right now. By the way, we're going to start our new spring schedule next week, so we'll be in 1 show a week mode, I should say. You're still going to get your compliment of the Jamie Dixon Show. You're going to get Coach David Bowden, of course, for Dissecting the Frogs one more time, and then we'll have Frogs Today toward the end of the week next week as well. Right now, though, we turn our attention a little college baseball. We bring Jamie Plunkett, who covers that beat for us here at frogstoday.com, into the Flying T Club studios. We touched on this briefly earlier in the week. Frogs off to Houston this weekend. They'll be down at Minute Maid for this big event. And I say big event because there's some great teams in it this year, aren't there?
Absolutely. The Shriners Children's College Classic is down there in Houston at Minute Maid Park again, so it's the second Major League park that TCU gets to play in already in this early season. They'll be joined by Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Michigan, Louisville, and Rice. They'll be playing Michigan, Louisville, and Rice Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, respectively. 3 kind of traditional good programs throughout college baseball. Another opportunity to kind of benchmark where this team stands.
Yeah, Michigan with a new coach, too. Tracy Smith takes over, former head coach at Arizona State. Do we have a good feel as to what they're all about right now?
I think this is somewhat of a rebuild mode for Michigan right now, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be competitive. I think you can look across the college landscape right now and see a lot of teams that are kind of in that state. Another one being Missouri, who TCU played earlier this year and kind of messed around and lost that baseball game. So even though Michigan's kind of in this rebuild mode, they've got some good transfer arms in this year. They're not to be taken lightly because they can sneak up and get you.
Yeah, and then, of course, in addition to Michigan, you mentioned Louisville as well. Over the years, they've had some really good teams.
They've had some really good teams. They're really good again this year. They returned a lot of production from that team last year that made the Super Regionals, and they beat TCU last year 9-8 in that midweek game when the Frogs were up there to play Kentucky as well. And so the Frogs are looking for a little bit of a get-back game here, and so that'll be an interesting matchup.
Do you see, because you see this in college basketball and you'll see it in football, do you see different styles in different parts of the country when it comes to baseball? And is that one of the reasons why you play these games against teams that come out of the Big Ten or the ACC?
A little bit. There's a little bit of a style difference. I think with baseball, though, that's so unique to that sport is that you really just kind of adapt to the situation that you're in. It takes one good pitcher to really challenge a lineup. It takes two good hitters to really turn a game around for a team. And so the fact that baseball can swing so significantly, so quickly, I think you have to be prepared for any and all situations. Playing teams across the country kind of gets you used to that.
Yeah, that also helps with the parity. That's what makes college baseball so good. You never know what can happen. All right, give me what your expectations are for TCU this weekend. I know you got a couple of storylines going in that you're following.
I think TCU, this is an opportunity to kind of get consistent, right? They were without Elijah Nunez for 4 games there last weekend. He didn't play against Florida State. TCU dropped that series, lost two of the 3 games in that one.
By the way, what's the team batting average do when Elijah Nunez is not in there?
So when he's hitting, they're batting about 350.
Okay.
When he's not in the lineup, that drops to about 263.
Makes a difference.
Pretty significant difference just when you're missing your 2-hole hitter there and starting center fielder. But for him, kind of coming back out of that concussion protocol, he went 0 for 4 against DBU on Tuesday night. It's hard when you miss games, especially when you've got some sort of head injury going on, to get back into your rhythm, kind of get into that groove. Your timing's a little bit off. So for him to get back on Tuesday, kind of shake off some of that rust now going into this weekend will be big for TCU. But this is a team that's been striking out a lot early on this season, 18 strikeouts in that midweek game. So this is going to be an opportunity for them to see some more good pitching, but also to really kind of figure out what's the strategy at the plate, what's my mindset here. It looks like as the Frogs kind of get deeper and deeper in some counts early on this season, they're striking out more and more. It's kind of logical, but also you want to see them fouling off. You want to see some more competitive at-bats. And you're getting that from some guys, you're not getting that from others, and so this is just another opportunity to sort that out.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here as we wrap this up. Any other storylines in Big 12 baseball here early on that are standing out? Is it's kind of falling into place like we all thought it would?
Texas Tech's undefeated. They haven't played away from home yet, so that you take that for what it's worth.
Had a midweek series with Air Force, right?
Yeah, midweek series with Air Force, beat them pretty handily on Wednesday. It's sitting at 9-0 right now. Tim Tadlock's got them working pretty well. Oklahoma State's another team to watch. They've done this really weird thing where they've given up 10 runs, I think, in 4 games, but they've also already thrown 2 no-hitters this year.
Combined no-hitters, right? Yeah.
Yes.
They were back-to-back, too,
Back-to-back.
Yes.
Tuesday no-hitter, and then a Friday against Loyola Marymount. They threw back-to-back no-hitters, 18 consecutive innings, I think shared by about 8 or 9 arms there. And so, you look at Oklahoma State and you say, what are you? We'll learn more as the season goes on. And then West Virginia has had a pretty decent start to the year. I know you've been high on them.
Yeah, they've been on the road. They've been living down south all.
They've been
played at home.
Taking advantage of the warm weather for the most part. And I think the biggest surprise at this point, though, is the University of Texas is struggling a little bit out of the gate. They went 0-3.
I'm never surprised when Texas.
That to happen.
I'm never surprised when Texas struggles.
Well, I'll tell you this: former Frog Porter Brown is having a pretty good year for them so far. He had a couple home runs over the weekend. They lost a really fun midweek game to LSU earlier this week. I don't know if you saw the crowd down there in Austin, but it was pretty packed for a midweek game. A nice sign that college baseball is trending in the right direction right now.
All right, thank you, man. Look forward to your reports this weekend from down in Houston. Yeah, you can find it all at frogstoday.com. All right, let's turn our attention to men's tennis. Number 1 men's tennis team set to take on UTA on Friday night, tonight, of course. Well, last night at the Players Club at John's Grill, Emma Holcutt, one of our hosts, along with Olivia Lee, had a chance to catch up with Luke Famba and Jake Fernley. They were there, and they join us right now.
That moment specifically, when you guys won the last match, what was that feeling like? What was that moment like for you guys?
I would say maybe some relief. I mean, I guess it was like tough weekend for us, tough matches. Like from like number 1 Jack to number 6 doubles. Every match was tight, and I guess at the end just gets last win was like content relief.
I'd agree. I think this one felt a little bit different because coming in like defending champions, it's kind of like there was a bit more pressure. We're not so much the underdogs anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of I would say just more. We're just happy that like the work that we put in kind of paid off, and I think that was the big thing that we were pleased about.
Yeah, and so going into that match, like how do you even mentally prepare for a national championship? I mean, you said you won last year going into it like winners. Like, what was your mindset kind of? Was it like, oh, they're trying to get like target on our back, or like how did that play into the mind?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we think that there's going to be some sort of target on our back. We came in undefeated into indoors, obviously defending champions. Pretty crazy roster.
Yeah.
Some good additions in Sebastian and Jack. So, and obviously he just got eligible, so he was playing his third match.
Wow.
So I think there was definitely some targets on our back, and I think
Yeah.
people knew that we were probably going to be the team to beat.
Does that really like motivate you every game when you know people are like, that's TCU, they're the defending champs? Is that a motivator for you guys?
Yeah, of course. Like I feel like every team, there was like good, and I guess just come out at the end with like being number one is always great for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's huge motivation because it's like if people keep pushing us, they're obviously trying to beat us. So we just have to keep up in our game. And thankfully, that's what we did. And hopefully, we keep doing that for the rest of the season.
And final question we wanted to ask in terms of national championship. Obviously, you guys switch over real quick to outdoor. How does that pressure of now being back-to-back national champions and then having another season to take on right after it impact you guys as players?
Yes. So now we say, okay, we are, I guess, number one. Like some people maybe watch us more, like they more local, maybe to how to beat us. I don't know if it's what word to say. So yeah, I guess maybe like beats more tight, but like we'll just play our game. Have pure trust in my teammates. So yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sure that pressure does carry over because it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, there's no rest.
You guys just got back and now moving into outdoor. Do you guys like that quick change? Would you rather have that than kind of have a break, or?
I think this year we actually had probably longer of a break than we usually do.
Really?
Last year we went into playing
1 week after that.
maybe even 5 days against
Yeah, 5
Michigan,
days.
Wow.
and we lost. So
Tough stuff.
Probably weren't ready for that one. Still recovering.
So that was a little bit quick for us,
Yeah.
but hopefully this year we're a bit more prepared. Yeah.
Jake, one of our favorites there with men's tennis, joining us on the Players Club last night with Emma and Olivia. You can catch them every Thursday night at 6 o'clock at John's Grill. We encourage you to come out and support that terrific show. Student athletes' voices in their own words. That's going to do it for this edition of Frogs Today. Don't forget, next week we go to our spring schedule. We'll have just one of them toward the back half of the week. Be on the lookout for that. We got a Jamie Dixon show next week. And finally, we get plays 1 and 2 from Dissecting the Frogs. You'll see that early in the week as well. Don't forget to check out frogstoday.com. Jamie Plunkett will be down in Houston all weekend long at Minute Maid covering the baseball team. And, of course, we got college basketball tomorrow, 2 o'clock, against the Oklahoma Sooners for TCU's men's program. The women will be here in what will be now Reagan Peebly's final home game as the head women's coach. Don't forget to subscribe. We want you to do that, most importantly, but also to comment, to like, to share. Let everyone know about Frogs Today. We need you at frogstoday.com and on our YouTube channel as well. For our entire crew, thanks for joining us here on this edition of Frogs Today. See you back here again next week. Have yourself a great weekend. Go Frogs.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying T Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.